Like a stutter step, we ease ourselves into memory of that certain time. Even now it seems elusive, not quite as bleak, not quite as robust. Yes, there were affectionate interludes, those times he'd come to her and she to him. There were quiet moments too, and those filled with wrath and that ever elusive remorse. So you ask, why dwell on this nonsense? That's the thing about that time. It's always unfinished. What could have been was not, and what became was not. In each case, we ran from tension to suppression, from gallantry to gall. And here, the tempo slows, and we take this opportunity to glance through the window at a sensation of sparrows gorging themselves on a discarded bag, sunflower seeds. That scene, in its splendid simplicity, speaks of sustenance, that uncompromising impulse to survive, no matter the circumstance. Lean into it. There. Better now? Listen. All will be revealed, or so they say. Memory is like a cocoon. Curl up in it and you feel safe. Ignore it and you risk being discarded, tossed out like, yes, yesterday's news. Come, listen. So what if your vision fails? If there are contradictions? We make our way, one step at a time, one note at a time. Listen. Think of choices like seeds. Some you plant deep, and some you scatter for effect, to see what becomes. All is without judgment, unless you like a little caress with a punch in the jaw. Well, it's not quite that violent. More like a slap than a punch. Either way, we've come this far, balancing the truth of the past with our accepted memory. Right or wrong, this is where and how we've come. No more wrestling decisions that are ancient and done with. It's hard enough to live a life glib-free, let alone being driven by it. Alternatives? Always alternatives. The horizon speaks in measured tones. In the midst, migration. The door opens. It's the mystery we've been anxious to solve. And here he is, not paying one whit of attention. Too much fun. Listen. Tripping lightly, and then a little more. Gusto. Hear it? He asks, unable to stop for the answer. And here we step up to random explanations. Did you bring wine? Your dog Beauty? Miles of trodden road? You know, all that stuff you've been saddled with for years. And so it goes. Tripping delights and random pairings, just like last time. I knew you'd figure that out sooner than later. A little more pensive, and then, wham, out of nowhere, that crescendo, the one giving rise to clouds racing over the Seine, or is it over your head? Tricky and wanton, and no rest for the delight at hand, or is it sleight of hand? Sometimes they seem the same. Whichever, time to pause and reflect, relish the assorted canopies and that slightly crisp, always suggestive Sauvignon Blanc.